What if I told you that the vegan marathon runner who you follow on Instagram isn't as healthy as you think she is? What if I told you that I've struggled with hypothalamic amenorrhea for the past 6 years because of excessive exercise and undernutrition? In this video, I'm gonna go over the science behind why this hypothalamic amenorrhea happens. I want to explain what are the health consequences for a woman not getting her period for prolonged periods of time. And I also want to explain the general recommendations to recover. So let's start with the science behind how a period works. When a healthy woman starts her menstrual cycle, it initiates when her hypothalamus produces GnRH. When this hormone is released by the hypothalamus, it induces the anterior pituitary to release LH and FSH, which are luteinizing hormones and follicle stimulating hormones. This picture right here shows 5 factors that change throughout your menstrual cycle. FSH levels will steadily increase, and that's going to cause estrogen levels to steadily increase as well. When estrogen levels reach a certain threshold, the LH levels are going to peak up, and then when LH levels reach its peak, ovulation happens. After ovulation, LH levels will drop and estrogen levels drop really fast. During the luteal phase, the corpus luteum is gonna start to form, and this is just a hormone secreting structure that forms in the ovary around the follicle where the egg has implanted. The corpus luteum secretes estrogens and progesterone, and this causes the uterine lining to thicken to prepare for if a baby comes. So the corpus luteum will continue producing these hormones, and the uterine lining will continue to thicken, and then eventually corpus luteum is going to start to break down, and that means that estrogen and progesterone levels are going to start to decrease, and then that means that the uterine lining is going to stop being thickened and it's going to start breaking down, and that is the blood that comes in a menstrual cycle. Now let's go back to hypothalamic amenorrhea. When a woman is in constant stress, her body will shut down her reproductive system by telling her hypothalamus to not produce enough GnRH. And so the whole cycle basically just doesn't start because the anterior pituitary will not produce enough LH and FSH to start the estrogen level increase. So she's just basically stuck in the beginning and it just doesn't start. Hypothalamic amenorrhea is actually a really good self-defense system of the female body. When a female is undergoing a lot of stress, rather it's because of a stressful job or a lack of sleep or too much exercise or undernutrition or a combination of any of these, her body will understand that she is not in a place to get pregnant. So it will shut down her reproductive system. And that is done by preventing the hypothalamus from producing the necessary hormones needed for her to get her menstrual cycle, which is necessary for her to get pregnant. But why would you want to have a period if you're not trying to get pregnant? Good question! I said that every single day, bro. It's actually really bad for you to not get your period. Number 1, osteoporosis. Google defines osteoporosis as a condition in which bones become weak and brittle. Does that sound nice to you? It doesn't sound nice to me. So why is osteoporosis caused when you don't get your period? Our bones are not constant. They're just always remodeling. We have 2 different types of cells in our bones: osteoclasts and osteoblasts. Osteoclasts chew our bone. C, they chew. Osteoblasts build our bone. B, build. So our bones are constantly a remodeling action of osteoclasts and osteoblasts. Estrogen, the hormone, remember, that is increased when FSH levels steadily increase in the beginning of the menstrual cycle. So estrogen is really, really important for the activity of osteoblasts that build your bone. When you don't get your period because your hypothalamus isn't producing enough GnRH and your anterior pituitary doesn't produce enough FSH and your estrogen levels stay low, you don't have enough estrogen to allow for a healthy activity of osteoblasts. So you have a lot more osteoclasts chewing your bone than you have your osteoblasts building your bone. Because of estrogen's role in bone health, not getting your period due to hypothalamic amenorrhea leads to very weak bones. The second important health impact of not getting your period is it greatly increases your chance of uterine cancer. That is because when your uterus lining isn't constantly growing and then being shed, your uterus is just there. And so that increases the risk of a cancer forming inside your uterus. Third health consequence is based on the fact that your hypothalamus actually controls a very wide range of hormones. As this picture up here shows, it's not only important for your sex hormones, but also for a lot of other body functions. So if the function of your hypothalamus is impaired, other functions of your body, such as body temperature control, or your metabolism, or even your kidney function might get affected. And lastly, there's the obvious consequence that if you don't get your period, you can't get pregnant. And just in general, not getting your period is a red flag that something in your body is not balanced. And now I want to discuss the general recommendations to recover from hypothalamic amenorrhea. As I've said before, I currently do not have my period yet, but I do want to talk about what I've been starting to do and what most doctors recommend doing. Recovering comes down to two things: eating more and exercising less. Basically, you have to sit on your butt and eat. You have to understand that gaining fat is good for you right now. And I know that for people who struggle with hypothalamic amenorrhea, doing this is so difficult, but it's important because in the end of the day, you need to gain adipose tissue, aka fat. Society has just created this hate against women who have fat on their body, and it's just so illogical. Like, it's just rude because we, women especially, need fat. Like, we need it. Otherwise, clearly, our body just doesn't work. I used to stress so much about people thinking, oh, she just got lazy and stopped running and she gained fat. But bro, who the hell cares what people think? Like, honestly, like who cares if people judge you? If you're healthy, then that's what matters. Like, if being healthy requires that you have thicker hips, then I'm all in. Like, do it. Be healthy, you know? I know it's hard. There are days that I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I miss being skinnier. But truth is, if I'm skinnier and I'm not healthy, then it's not worth it at all. I'd much rather be thicker and actually healthy. And although I'm making this video right now, I just want to make it crystal clear that it has not been easy for me. I have to wake up every single day and choose to limit my running. I've cried so much. I stress out. It is not easy whatsoever. Especially when you're a runner and running becomes a big part of your identity, and having to just set that aside has been really fucking hard. So I'm doing as much as I can and going step by step each day, working harder on running less, and it's been really hard. And I know it's gonna continue to be really hard, but I know it's just not what I should be focusing on right now. First, I need to recover, and then I can go back to focusing on my running goals. And I also really want to emphasize the book No Period, Now What? This book right here. No Period, Now What? This really helped me because for these past 6 years, I always felt really alone. I never really met anyone else who struggled with this issue. And so it was really hard. It was really hard to like talk to people and have them not understand. And so just having a book that is specifically about what I was struggling with really helped me. So I strongly recommend buying this book. I really hope this video helps. I hope this video helps me be more transparent with you guys. I hope this video helps you guys understand that being lean and thin is not the same thing as being healthy. I hope this video helps you guys. If anyone is struggling with the same thing, I really hope this helps you recover. And I hope this video helps you understand a little more about the menstrual cycle. I don't know. I really hope I get my period back. That's what I fucking hope. I'm gonna get it back! Thank you.